Y'all need to help Stephen Phillips out over there. Out the door and off the radio.
Here's Stephen Phillips.
All righty, folks, we're back with you, and always great to have somebody from RCS Productions, the biggest talent buying a concert, amphitheater, you name it. If you've been to one of their concerts, and I'll guarantee it, you have been to RCS Productions. And we have, for the first time, Tod Elmore. Good morning. How are you, brother?
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, shoot, yeah. I called Steve yesterday, and he said, wait a minute, let me put somebody on that actually knows what's going on with RCS Productions.
That's exactly what he said.
How are you this morning, man?
Doing great, thanks.
Good deal, man. We rock. We got Jerry come in this morning. She always brings us banana nut bread, and it just
oh man, I would have come in person had I known.
Yeah, I guarantee it. But golly, y'all have. I mean, we were. Normally when we talk to Steve, we were all. Everybody's in the pandemic, just sitting around twiddling their thumbs. Y'all are rolling, man. What have y'all got going on?
Well, I tell you, it is back with a vengeance. 2020. Now, I'm new with the company, so I only know a little bit of the history, but right. I've known Stephen, the company owner, Stephen, I've known for 10 or 12 years. I've always been on the seller side, trying to get him to book my bands. I work with other artists as well. And
right.
So I have a working history with the company. I joined last fall, to come in and do all the talent buying. And it has just been nonstop. I mean, the national acts in particular who, live music was around during the pandemic in little spots, right. Local bands would throw together a little show for 20 people and they could get away with it with some of the rules and regulations, but nationally touring acts, they couldn't do it. They couldn't go from state to state with different rules, different regulations. Right. So now all of those bands are back on the road, every one of them. So it's really busy.
And they're begging they're ready to work because they've been unemployed. I mean, they've been unemployed for 2 years. I mean, honestly,
Well, and these larger tours, they're micro corporations. Right. You've got the artist and you've got the team and you've got the crew, and it's not uncommon for. We had Travis Tritt recently down at the Fred in Peachtree City.
Oh yeah.
And his entourage, his touring entourage is 13, 14 people, and then his team, the people behind the scenes, another 15, 20 people. That's 40 employees. Mm-hmm. To keep Travis Tritt rolling.
And that was a good show, man. I seen his wife put some pictures up on Facebook, man. What a great show that is. That Fred, man, that's a cool place to play.
It is, and we're having a great season so far. Our first two shows, we had Travis Tritt, which was a sellout, and then last weekend we had 38 Special, which was a sellout. Later in the year, we've got Ann Wilson and Boz Scaggs, and we're doing the Atlanta Symphony Orchestra for the first time. It's going to be great.
Oh, yeah. I mean, this has got to be so much. I'm like you. I kind of got to know Steve by trying to get him to book my band, which never happened. Okay. He's got some kind of regulations about, they have to actually stay in tune during the whole show. So that kind of.
Well, that is a rule. Is that something I should know?
I told him tuning's for sissies, but according to
that's right.
Yeah, that's right. But anyway, great guy, great organization. And I mean, he started in '82, and I mean, y'all are huge now. I mean, the RCS production is absolutely huge. But now the Cumberland Caverns, you're involved in that. That just the being there with the empty cavern would be awesome. Not to mention musicians on the stage. Do you like doing that? I mean, that has to be the ultimate.
It is a really, for those of you that aren't aware, Cumberland Caverns is a cave. It's a legit operating cave in McMinnville, Tennessee. If you sort of draw a triangle between Nashville, Knoxville, and Chattanooga, it's sort of dead in the center of that triangle. Probably only a couple hours from you guys. It's a nice day trip. We do shows at 3 p.m. for that very purpose. Right. You could come over, you could tour the cave, you could catch a show, and then you could be home by 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock.
Wow.
So yeah, it's a beautiful venue. I encourage anyone to go look it up. We're redoing the website, so there's not a lot to see on the website, but if you go to our Facebook page, Cumberland Caverns Live, you can see tons of photos. Huge open space. We call it the volcano room. You walk about a quarter mile down into the cave. You're 330 feet underground. Mm-hmm. It's an outcropping of rocks, and so there's no flat spaces. So there's no sound. The sound doesn't bounce. It just sort of gets absorbed. It's a naturally sort of acoustically pure performance space. It's truly special.
Oh man,
neat.
it's absolutely amazing. Yeah. Now have y'all? I know JJ Gray was supposed to play. Has he been there yet, or is he?
He has not, and I'm trying to think of who we've had in that ilk. We do have.
I was thinking Paul Thorne played there too, but I'm not going to swear to.
We had Almond Betts last fall. We had let me just tell you who we have coming this season. So so far, I mean, and it's a hodgepodge of genres. So we're going to kick off our show with Neil McCoy. So we got a country act on May 22nd.
Yeah.
And then the next weekend we're doing, which is May 28, 29. We're doing Brett Dennen, who's sort of a folk Americana singer songwriter, followed by the Spin Doctors. So the Spin Doctors are back on tour this summer.
Right.
So we have them coming up. And then in June, we're doing Jefferson Starship. July, we're doing Matt Mara, Contemporary Christian Act. And then later, we're doing 10,000 Maniacs. They're back on tour. They're celebrating, I want to say their 40th year.
I mean, I was fixing to say it's got to be 40 or 50 years.
Yeah. So we have a lot of great shows, and by the way, tomorrow we're announcing 3 more shows. So hop on our newsletter and get the deets.
Well, now go to rcsproductions.com, and this will give you a link to most everything, especially their Facebook page that you got on that. And then we have got the Cumberland Caverns live.com.
Correct.
And then the amphitheater.org. That goes to the Fred, right?
That goes to the Fred, yes.
Yeah, that goes to the Fred. So, well, now tell me something, Jerry. Did you actually work for Turtle Records back years ago?
I found
I
that.
sure did.
Yes.
Were you at Turtles?
Yes.
Are you kidding?
I used to go there. Yes.
Oh, you shop there because there's a reunion in the works that I'm not part of. But
Oh, wow.
I'm on they have a Facebook. Turtles has a Facebook page for former employees, and someone somewhere is trying to get a reunion together.
Oh man.
I mean, that was the thing, man. I mean, of course, where we lived at, you had to drive all the way to Gainesville, but that's where everybody went to Turtles.
Yeah.
I
Get
mean,
an 8-track, put in your Camaro.
I love what I do even now, but I gotta reflect on my life, and that was probably my favorite job ever.
I mean, honestly, but it's the thing about it though. It's kind of sad. These musicians, which we had this guy on the other day that actually he's releasing his albums on thumb drives, which I thought, well, that's a pretty cool idea because CDs and 8-track cassettes is just gone. I mean,
they are. It's amazing.
Get a car with a.
Well, yeah, they don't even come with CD players anymore.
No.
So I mean, it's all upset. But now let me ask you something. Now, okay, now you're working with RCS Productions, and you started by trying to get your band booked. Are you getting your band booked now with RCS Productions, or?
Well, I am. There's a little insider trading.
Oh, okay, I see how that works.
Don't call the government, but
right.
I do still work with a couple of singer-songwriters.
Right.
And sort of I manage a couple of acts. I consult a few other acts. And I've kept on, with them, even joining RCS.
Right.
And I've had a little bit of luck plugging them into shows. But I will tell you, in all candor, especially with a nationally touring act, they get to thumbs up or thumbs down the other bands.
Oh yeah.
So we've submitted acts to a tour, and they were like, nah, yeah, we'll find our own act to open up the show.
It's very competitive. There's no doubt in the music because everybody wants to get up and be seen and be. Of course, now that's another thing about it. You're talking about these recording or touring acts, the big ones. The money is in live shows. I mean, that's where the money is at. I mean, as far as their downloads and streaming, they're really not making that much money off that. So, I mean, this is a big income for them. So, I mean, you got some that's hard to work with and others that's easy to work with, but I think they're becoming easier to work with because they're wanting that live shows. You finding that out?
Yeah, for sure. I've worked in live music for 30 years.
Right.
And I have war stories like anyone has a war story, but generally speaking, touring musicians are great to work with. It's a grind living on the road. You hear these horror stories of demanding artists with, Van Halen, you got to pull out the brown M&Ms, and Katy Perry, needs a dozen roses in her green room and things like that. And I say more power to you. I mean, the one consistent for a touring musician is when they arrive at the venue, what to expect,
right.
What to expect in their dressing room and on the stage. So, I come from an artist-centric mindset. So I appreciate that. And I've had very few negative experience with touring artists, and they are eager to play and they are hungry to play. And And yeah, ticket sales and merchandise sales,
Right.
T-shirts and the hats and the sweaters and the this and that. It's a big revenue stream for these guys.
Well, now I see you got Little River Band coming to the Fred.
That's right.
That's cool. I love Little River Band. Do you not?
I do.
Oh,
yeah,
man.
and I'm gonna mess it up. They're bringing. I'm gonna mess it up. I shouldn't even say it. They're bringing some sort of. I want to say like 3-piece chamber piece or something. They're doing something unique at this show. I should have known before I even said it out loud. But there is a unique element to this show that has not been at other Little River Band shows. So if you've seen them before, this is going to be a unique show in some way. I wish I remembered how.
When I'm fixing to sell out the Atlanta Symphony Orchestra, you've got it coming to the Fred, and they're actually
they're doing Star Wars, and we selected Father's Day weekend for that. I don't know if that's a good marketing angle or not, but
man,
Yeah. Yeah.
bring your dad to the symphony on Father's Day.
There you go.
Yep.
Star Wars, man. Packy, he can actually
I'm
quote.
the house nerd, so I'll be
Come
there
on
for
down.
that one. Yeah,
Yeah.
man.
He can quote every word of every sentence in the movie Star Wars and all. How many were they? 40 of them up so far?
I think so. And
40 different movies, Star Wars movies, I think.
That's quite the memory.
Yeah, but he's got Nicolas Cage on his wall too, so I don't know. You know how that goes. But now, tell us a little bit about before we get going, because I want to. All these folks out. We got a lot of folks listening, and if they'd like to, you do smaller venues too. Y'all do a lot of different stuff. You do the amphitheater in Woodstock. Y'all do smaller venues with the concerts and the surrounding smaller towns. It does the concert series and stuff like that. If they need to. Tell us a little bit about RCS Productions, a little bit more other than y'all do the big stuff, but you're also involved with the smaller venues too. Tell them about that.
Yeah, for sure. Our I'd say 80% of our client base are municipalities, cities that are communities that want to attract, either businesses to their cities or some sort of quality of life for their citizens. And sometimes it's through the CVB, sometimes it's through Parks and Rec, sometimes it's through, a downtown development authority, but they'll have a budget and they'll put on events. And a lot of times it is concerts, but it's not always concerts. We're doing movie nights, we're doing comedy, we're doing a bunch of different things for these cities. And they try to use it as a vehicle to attract people to their cities, come stay in their hotels, come eat at their restaurants. They're trying to give back quality of life for their citizens. It is, in many cases, it is taxpayer money that's paying the bills for these things. And so RCS is sort of a turnkey operation. We can source the talent, we can source the production, we can execute the show on your behalf. And if you're a municipality, we're doing this right now with 2 different municipalities that wants to design a green space or a performance space or even an amphitheater.
Right.
We can help you on the consulting, the design of those things, because, no offense to city municipalities, but they're not concert promoters. They don't know that they need a power source on the stage. They don't know that they need, a certain structural roof to hang lights from, these sorts of things that we can help them with.
That's a big deal too. And being a musician, I have been at different venues, and the stage is beautiful, but it's useless. Once you get up there, because it's not set up for it, And I actually got Steve Moore in contact over here with the commissioner of Union County, because they're talking about doing an amphitheater, and he come up for the afternoon, talk to them, and after it's all said and done, they completely changed their mind around how to set the stage, what to do, because that is something. It's not just a stage. There's a whole lot more involved in just putting that up, and I think that's cool. But of course, now y'all got mobile stages if somebody would like to just do a one out in the middle of the field. So
That's nice.
that is
Yeah, they have there's a company out of Canada, Stageline, that does these mobile trucks. It's fascinating. I call them transformers.
Right.
It looks like a semi. It pulls on the highway like a semi truck, and you park it in place, and then it just sort of unfolds and lifts up, and voila, you've got a 24 by 24 stage or larger. There's different sizes. And so we can, we can put those pretty much anywhere, open fields or town squares, and we do.
Yeah. Yeah, you do, and no doubt. And I'm gonna tell you, how do you like? Okay, now Steve ain't listening; he's on a plane somewhere. How do you like working for Steve?
Oh, he's terrific.
Oh, come on,
like I said,
come on.
No, well, I mean, he's been a friend. He was a friend before he was a boss.
Yeah,
which is always a pretty good transition.
No, he's a super great guy. There ain't no doubt about it. And you are too, man. He's got good things to say about you. But you know what? When it's all said and done, it's so funny though, and you know this from experience, like I do, because I've been in music and this, that, and the other. Man, it is just a blast, and it is so much fun right up to the guy says, "Thank y'all very much. We'll see you next time." And then you have to clean all that stuff up. That's the worst part of the whole thing. Do you not think?
Well, yeah, yes and no. It's funny because I've spent the majority of my career on the sidelines,
right.
Right. From side stage or backstage or whatever you want to call it.
Right.
And so, I'm not, I've never been the performer, but I've always, in some small way, played a role in the performance.
Right.
If that makes any sort of sense.
Mm-hmm.
And it's equally rewarding. I mean, it's a lot of fun to watch these things take place and watch people having a terrific time.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, the cleanup is always a mess.
Oh yeah. Yep. I guarantee it. Man, Tod, I appreciate you coming on, man. I guarantee it. RCSProductions.com. That should lead you to that. Of course, go to the Cumberland Caverns Live.com and then the amphitheater, I guess www.amphitheater.org. That's the Fred, right?
That's the Fred down in Peachtree City.
Yeah, which is not that far, but there's a lot of folks who go here, and the caverns are just, if y'all have not been to the caverns, I mean, that will be a destination just to go. And 3 in the afternoon is, I mean, that's perfect.
Yeah.
That's perfect.
That's a good time.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
perfect.
And a significant amount of guests come early and actually tour the cave. They give guided tours. And so you can come and take a tour of the cave and then see a show and, be home for a late dinner.
Oh, I'm with you on that. I mean, that's like us. That's one reason we kind of slowed down a little bit because, some of them places they want to book you don't start playing till like 9 o'clock and you have to play till 2 in the morning. I can't do that. I can't get out of the bed in the morning.
They got to sell some beer, don't you know?
I'm all about the show, man. I'm Baptist. We quit all that beer drinking. You know how that goes. But anyway, man, I'm going to get you back on here, guarantee it. But on short notice, thank you for coming in. And anything we got going on, you got my number. Just text me, let me know, and we'd be more than happy to promote it for you because
perfect. Thanks so much.
I love what you do, and I appreciate Steve, and I appreciate you, man.
All right. Y'all have a great day.
All right, take care.
Thank you.
Thank you for spending a little time with us. And remember, you can tune in every morning at WJULradio.com at 8 a.m. Eastern. And please subscribe to our YouTube channel and like us on Facebook, The Morning Dish.